Welcome to Smart Money with Chris Swartz. Living life on your terms requires more than income. Smart Money connects you with the people, tools, and strategies that turn income into freedom. Today's guest is Scott Hudspeth, someone who has spent more than 20 years in the mortgage, real estate, and coaching world, helping professionals and families think differently about growth, leadership, and long-term wealth. He has helped scale mortgage platforms into the billions, built a massive audience through MLO Live, and has perspective that blends real estate, mindset, and communication in business in a really unique way. All right, Scott, welcome to Smart Money.
Hey, so honored to be here, my friend. Chris, how you doing, man? It's man, you're doing some amazing things with this podcast, and I sincerely appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. It's so great to have you on. Good to see you. It's been a long time, and really excited to dive in and share all the great things that you're doing. I've been following on your social media. I've seen a little bit of change in Scott Hudspeth lately. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, kind of where you started and your background. As we get started here for our guests, I guess let's talk a little bit about what's your area of expertise? What have you been doing for the last couple of decades there, Scott?
My absolute passion is marketing and helping other people to stay ahead of what's happening to help people be more successful in the real estate and mortgage realm. So when it comes to the basics, I truly believe, Chris, the last 20 years has been a transaction-based type world. Now we have to absolutely positively make this a relationship type based world where we're connecting, engaging, and interacting and staying relevant to the people that already know, like, and trust us. So I've really, over the last 20 years, focused on helping people provide training, coach, mentoring, being the coach for a lot of loan estate agents across. Now I'm doing CE stuff. So it's come full circle where I used to say, don't need CE, but I think it's a really cool way to give back to the community is to be a CE instructor. So long story short, man, I've been pouring my heart into social media, technology, and what actually works and helps people to have an amazing career.
There's so much in there to unpack. And I know one of the things you mentioned in the pre-interview forum was you've also owned a lot of real estate, right?
I have, yes. 30 plus homes, done a bunch of fix and flips back in the day when you could fog a mirror and get approved. So I was buying homes and I had a crew. I had my home crew that would go in and fix up the homes and then get them ready to sell. And then I would sell them, and a bunch of them I held as rentals. And from there, I had those paid off, which was a blessing. And so it started a really nice future.
Really been my world as well as, real estate, mortgage, finance, and tying it all together. I know you've helped so many loan officers, throughout your career and real estate agents. And you mentioned one thing that it's about the connection. And I think that's key right now. Why do you say that? In this time of like AI and where everybody's just able to get information quickly, why is it important that now, we're building that connection?
Yeah, because we're relationship type people. I would say that AI is not going to take you out. The people that aren't using AI are going to be the ones that get taken out. And what I mean by that is, he says it best. He's like, people are going to pay to go for a walk with a human. I think the farther we get from humanization, closer we get the solid relationships of those people that know us, like us, and trust us, will call us to have a human conversation, not just a robotic response, or, it may sound real, but it's a generic response, not an emotional response. When we're buying and selling, investing in homes, that's a huge emotion that people go through that we get to be a part of. But the only way we can be a part of that, Chris, is if we stay relevant, we stay visible, and we remind those people on a consistent, persistent basis that we're here and that they do know us, like us, and trust us. More importantly, we have to understand that we're not trying to get them. And I call it the law of 23. And sorry if I ramble on, you can just cut me off, but I call it the law of 23. So everybody looks at their database and I go, all right, I got 2,000 people in my database. I'm like, you have way more than 2,000. You have 2,000 times 23. And I learned this from Joe Girard, number one sales world, 14,001 cars, whatever it was. But he went to a funeral and he said, hey, how many people typically come to a funeral? And they said around 500. And then he said, all right, how many people typically go to a wedding? Around 250. So he said, if I sell a car, I have 250 more opportunities to sell another car to their friends, family, and coworkers, the people that know, like, and trust. So I just dropped it way down to 23. If you have 1,000 people in your database, if you have 500 people in your database, times that by 23, because if you stay visible, stay relevant, remind those 500 who you are and what you do for a living, you get to work with all their friends, family, and coworkers, which is an unbelievable. If you numbers, it's an unbelievable opportunity.
Wow. Even just peeling it back to 23, right? Because that's conservative. In this day and age where there's so much noise, there's so much competing for our attention, and there's so much social media fakes, right? Like, I mean, being in the mortgage industry, I've seen the realtors with the best TikToks, or, the lender that's making the most polished video. And I'm like, oh man, they got to be crushing it. Like, they are definitely crushing it. I'm not doing what they're doing. And, for those of you that are in mortgage and real estate, we've got these cool little tools out here where we can look up, everybody's stats, right? Came out, many years ago, where now we're not guessing. I'm looking and others are looking at the production, and I'm like, man, that guy or that girl makes a heck of a video, but they haven't sold a house all year. Mortgage world, and just, I think in general, social media allows people to create these fake personas, right? And so how do we stay relevant without getting caught in the, being fake and just wanting to create the coolest TikTok out there?
The problem with that is what they're getting is dopamine hits from all those likes and comments and stuff like that. So that's poison. So many people love the stage. They just don't do the work to make the relationship. For example, man, and this is a weird example. I was at the Morgan Wallen concert Friday night. Craziest concert I've ever been at. And I'm not plugging, but holy smacks, unbelievable. But I'm sitting there. I don't remember talking about real estate, okay? I don't remember talking about this. This is what I'm talking about, connecting, engaging, interacting. I'm sitting by a guy who's a Marine, still in the service. There's 2 to 3 years to go. And he says, hey, did you mention real estate? I said, yeah. I said, I've been in 20 years. Man, and he goes, I'm a Marine 2 or 3 years ago. I said, man, let's just connect. I can never do to help you interview for the position. I always like to say that term, love to interview for the position, or worst case, get you some terms, But what I'm saying is he, for some reason, heard real estate. Why did he hear real estate? There's this thing called the reticular activator.
Yeah, it's like the yellow car, right? It's like, hey, I just bought a yellow car. Now all of a sudden, oh wait, they have that yellow car, and they have that yellow car. Or
there's 3 yellow cars in my neighborhood. I've never seen them before.
Right, exactly. They were there.
They were always there. And so what I'm saying is, if you have a 500 person database and you're staying in front of them, when that reticular, and this is the chemical that's released, you can't turn it off. But if you're in front of them, likes, comments, happy birthday videos on social media, email marketing once a week, little bitty things that are basic stuff that are free, picking up the phone. We had a challenge the other day. Darren Copeland, he wrote the Green Effect, and he says, I got a challenge for everybody. For 90 days, 3 months, I want everybody to do 5 gratitude calls per day, 25 per week, 100 per month, 300 in 3 months. And I came across your phone. Been a while. How have you been? Is there anything I can do to help you? Put you in a better place? Man, if there is, let me know. Leave a message. Say hi. Gratitude calls, right? Chris, tell me anybody in business that's a mortgager, if they did that they wouldn't have more opportunities on their plate after they did that.
No, it's impossible. I mean, that's it. It's a connection business. And, once you get the conversation going, you just never know. And that's, a lot of us work from home and, work from all these places. And I always say, if I don't get out, like I'm just not in the zone, right? Like, it's great to be able to work from home and I can get the busy work done. I can get the emails answered and I can do the stuff that I need to do. But man, my energy and just who I am, I'm like shrinking inside, and it's like, you need to be out there. And then sometimes I'll just shake myself. You got to get out this week, get to a networking event, get to something. And I go to that thing and I'm like, I met this person and now we're doing this thing and they connected me to this person. And it's like, if you don't get out there, right, it's not going to happen. Like, Jalen Hurts back there isn't going to come out and start hanging out. Like, it's just not happening. So you got to get out there and you got to have the conversations. I love that. And that's so true. Whether you're mortgage, real estate, any business where you're connecting with people. I mean, just that human connection, so powerful.
Relationships are going to be the most important thing that any one salesperson has, is going to allow them to succeed or not succeed. Because AI will come in and try to take your clients if you're not staying connected personally. As a video text, Chris, who does that? Nobody. So they know you, they know your voice. In a video, they can feel your passion, they can feel your excitement. So there's little bitty things that cost zero that we can do. I think the poison is we get caught up with what everybody else is doing. Well, one of my friends are webinar junkies. Like, I'm doing this training. I'm like, what did you get from it? What are you going to do with it? Are you doing the basics? Because I call it the funnel. If you're not putting people that know, like, and trust you in your funnel, and you're trying to turn a cold into a hot, you're going to get deflated. You're going to get depressed. You're going to go broke.
Meaningful conversations, and you can do all the webinars, all of those things, they help. But at the end of the day, you've really got to get out there. Throughout your career, I mean, we've been connected now for, probably almost 2 decades. We've seen the medium change, right? Like, maybe it was picking up the phone or text messaging, or, now video messaging and social media, and all, we have AI to help with all the other tools that are out there, keeping in touch with our database. But it just seems like this common thread is still there, 2 decades later, the human connection. However we want to leverage that, whatever tool or vehicle you want to pick, go for it. But maybe don't get caught up in the noise of, trying to find the latest and greatest AI tool or webinar to join to learn the newest strategy. Like just kind of get out there. If you want to use that stuff, cool, but be careful, right? Because that stuff, you can go down the rabbit hole all day long and come out and, oh, wow, it's 5:00. I worked all day. You didn't talk to one person. Shifting gears, like in the conversations you see that move the needle the most, like what do people say? What moves the needle the most? And what are people missing in conversations?
What they're missing is just not having the conversations. Like you said, it's a double-edged sword. AI is bringing so much efficiency to the world, so much. Market, thank you, right? But it's killing people because they're frozen by it. They're scared of it, worried that we're going to be replaced. And you're right. If you don't change it, and it's still, to this day, Chris, a transaction-based type mindset, I need a deal instead of deep in the relationship. Just call to say hi. Just call to say, how can I help? You need to put you in a better situation. Same with real estate agents. Real estate agents should do another kind of dynamite too, because they're trying to figure it out. One of the things I teach is if you're not calling the people in your phone, like this silly thing right here, the average person has 500 to 1,000 contacts in their phone. They've never called them once. People go, I don't have a database. Everybody says I have 200 people in my database. I have yet to find anybody less than 400 in their database that's been in business for any amount of time. And if they're in your phone, that means you had a conversation and stored that person at one point in time in your life, whether it's college or it's now your grown-up life, your neighbors, whatever. But those people buy homes. Those people sell homes. Those people buy and invest. Feels like a broken record, but you have to get out there. You have to remind people who you are and what you're doing for a living. You don't have to sell them anything on the call. You just have to make the call and say, hi, man, I came across your number on my phone. It's been a while. How you been?
Right.
And not be scared of the response.
Yeah, and just make the call, go to the event. There's so many ways we can do it now. Drop somebody a DM if you're really scared, right? That's the easiest way if you're not ready for, pound the phones. But you'd be surprised. And you have a whole kind of, strategy site built on this. You have an entire site on helping real estate agents and loan officers get in the conversation, right? Let's talk a little bit about the site.
One of the things I built, Chris, that I feel is I'm getting huge accolades from real estate agents on it because everybody's talking about prompting. Prompt this. Here's 50 prompts. Here's 100 prompts. Here's 400 prompts. And everybody's like, what? Okay, I used the prompt, put it in ChatGPT. What do I do with it? So I built Agent AI Fuel, and I'm giving it away. I want people specifically to learn how to use AI, to learn how to master their craft. A lot of people haven't mastered their craft. And what I mean by that is overcoming objections, role playing with a buyer, a listing, for sale by owner, buyer listing. How do I role play and how do I use AI to do that? You just give a button and then you talk back and forth with this AI.
Wow. And you're giving it away for free?
You're giving it away for free. Yeah. Agent AI Fuel. I'm trying it. And here's the other thing I'm doing, Chris. In the CE classes, I'm trying to make the C classes fun.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let's get through the class, but in pieces throughout the class, I'm throwing fun things into it that they can actually use in the real estate business to help their buyers, to help their sellers, to help their investors, to actually have more opportunities coming in on a regular basis. Simple, right? So I'm throwing that into my C classes until they tell me I can't anymore. But I go through the PowerPoint, I do what I need to do, I record their time and I submit their times, all that stuff. It's a robust, I'm adding an actual webinar system to it where they can literally record an evergreen webinar where they can actually have a buyer present, like a first-time home buyer presentation recorded so that people just keep opting in to see it, just for curious, reticular activator. I'm trying to take all the stuff that's coming at us and go, all right, how do I simplify this so people actually understand it and can use it, but more importantly, master their craft. So that when they get in front of somebody and someone says, your commission's too high, or do I have to pay your commission? Or the other guy said he'd do it for 2%, or whatever the scenario be, right?
I love it, man. Always delivering so much value. And, really, we used to do the trainings back in the day that you would send out, the mastermind trainings. And there's so much gold in all these things. It's like you just, and you don't have to do it all. I like to tell people, it's like, hey, if we can all learn strategies all day long and attend webinars, but if you just pick one thing and implement that's it. And just watch it change. So, get in there, mess around with the prompting, be a master of your craft. And then you have, another site too that you have, is it MLO Live?
Live, yeah. So I do a show. Twice a week. I used to do it every day, Chris. And
Oh man.
Through Friday, 9 a.m. Like, whoa. Now every day I bring value speakers. So I had a couple of my coaches, one of them, Jamie Miller, I love him to death. He's like, what are you doing, dude? You're going to kill yourself. This comes into where the wealth and the time and the freedom come in. He's like, what are you doing? I go, I'm just trying to give back to a community that's given so much to me. So do you ever get a break? How do you take a 3-day weekend off? How do you take a 4-day? How do you do it? I go, all right. And then Rene Rodriguez, he said the same thing the same day. I was at MortgageCon. He goes, what are you doing?
That's when you question your life, when everyone around you was like, what are you doing, dude?
This is good stuff, but dang, I feel sorry for you. I'm like, I was learning at such a fast pace. When you and I would go to the same event, I stopped taking notes. And the reason I stopped taking notes is because I would never look at the notes. I'm like, there's 2,500 things here. And when I go to an event now, I look for the one thing that fits where I'm at in my business. And then I incorporate that into my business.
That's awesome.
I have 2 pages of notes. You and I are going to get different things at the same exact event from the same exact words. You're going to take this point. I'm going to take this point because we're on the same river. We're just in the different points of the river.
Right. Kind of comes back to that reticular activator, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm listening for something that I need. You're listening for something that you need. We're both at the same event, same information. No, that's awesome. And for anyone listening that wants to check out MLO Live, what are you talking about? Let me give me an example of the conversations that are happening.
So I have group coaching every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock. That's included in the coaching. So you can get help with whatever you want to get help with, depending on where you're at, where you're at in your business. And that's what I love, is having different people, because as a group, we help others, because you're here and I'm not quite there, but I need a little info on that. So I might have my opinion on how to get you there, but then other people have go, hey, this is what I did at your spot to get me to this spot. And so group coaching is amazing. I do some one-on-one coaching. I do have a branch out of Colorado that was $284 million last year. That's intense. Pretty cool. Two business partners that are just amazing. And so working with them to see the team that they put in place, how they remove themselves from the minutia of a loan and from a business I've been working with them for at least 2 years now.
That's awesome.
A lot of times I'll just share a couple of things with you, and if you do it, you'll come back to me and have a lot of money to pay for whatever you want without coaching. Because I asked, are you doing the basics? I'm like, no.
Wait a minute. I thought you were going to give me the silver bullet, Scott. So, and I think, as we talk about all this, and especially if those that are listening are in real estate, in mortgage, having both of us spent, 2 decades plus in this industry, really what smart money is about is is a personal mission of mine. I spent a lot of my years chasing dollars, trading time for dollars, missing out on the life that was happening around me, worrying about, is the market up? Is it down? Oh, what's my MBS alert doing today? And, now I'm 47 and I kind of look and I'm like, hey, why didn't somebody shake me and tell me like, this is not what it's about? And so smart money is really about, I love to interview high achievers who are doing things at a high level, but also that are able to get out, enjoy life, and kind of find that balance and that freedom. Because if you can make all the money in the world, if you're not enjoying it with your friends, your family, or whatever it is that you want to do, man, it's not worth it, because they're not going to put on your tombstone like, yeah, Chris worked real hard, made lots of money.
I wish he would have worked more.
Yeah. What kind of linked us back up, I know I've seen some of your posts and some things that you've been doing personally lately, and it just seems like you're really at this stage where you're clearing things and you're just creating that space to really live life. And I know a lot of people in our industries, mortgage and real estate specifically, struggle with that. So What would you say to those people, and kind of tell me a little bit about what you're experiencing that journey right now?
Yeah. So one of the things that happened to me, Chris, man, was that I thought, this goes back to my childhood. I thought I could use stuff to escape some of my childhood pain. We all have our demons. We all have our stories. And so I thought my whole marriage is no longer, and I thought through all that stuff that I could use stuff to replace that. And then I saw the movie, and I was just looking for the movie. It's about a guy who ends up losing his wife, moves into a cottage that has no power, and he has a pig that goes out and finds. It's just the most basic, chill, easy life. And he has this life. And I saw this like a long time ago, 10 years ago. I was like, man, is he happy or is he sad? Maybe a little bit of both. And then I had a call with Jamie Miller. This was probably almost not quite a year ago. And we were just sitting there at the coffee shop, and he goes, I'm done chasing happiness, I'm going to chase peace. I didn't know that there was a difference. I thought they kind of went hand in hand.
Yeah. As you say that, I'm like, wait a minute, aren't they attached?
Well, yes and no. So happiness, and a lot of people have talked about this, and you'll hear it now, you'll see it in feeds. Happiness comes from dopamine hits, buying the new car, getting the new house, new promotion, loan closing. You keep chasing these hits. It's a vicious cycle, and you get a dopamine hit, and then you drop back down. You're like, man, just not happy today. I'm not happy this week. And then you get another, something happens, and then you're back up again. Like, all right, okay, I'm happy again. And then like it drops back off. And so I really started focusing on what was making me happy. But more importantly, I started chasing peace. And I'm like, what truly brings me peace? And one of the things I had the hardest time with, Chris, is just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, you and me both, man. I've mastered and put the nose to the grindstone on so many hard things. Man, if you just tell me to sit there and chill, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what? No, like,
it takes time. Yeah. So I'm like, all right. So I promised Jamie, I'm like, hey, Jamie, when I take Fridays and Mondays off, he goes, great, awesome. And then so the first Friday came around, and I'm like, man, I'm getting chills thinking about this. I'm like, this is really hard because I feel like I should be doing something when in reality, if I do it in the days that I'm actually on, that's enough. If you look at how many hours you should Google this. Google how many hours the works in an 8-hour day. If I work 3 8-hour days, then Wednesday, Thursday, and I don't do a whole lot on Wednesday either. Like Wednesdays I usually do a C on Wednesday or a virtual something class. Okay? You're my only call. So with that said, it was the hardest. It's still hard for me, but it's getting easier. So I would literally go, I'm just going to go mow the lawn. Why don't you have somebody mow your lawn? Because headsets on, turn up the music. I got 1.5 acres to mow. It's amazing. I just check out. I go for a drive. I sit on the ocean. I go just sit in the back porch and do nothing. With that, it just gave me a whole new sense of peace and clarity around life. Like I thought about this today. I'm like I just talked to a good friend of mine who had a dear friend pass yesterday. Tomorrow's not promised. Your time is so precious that we have on here. So why am I can't take it with me. There's no trailer that I'm going to hook up to me and go, all right, I'm going to heaven.
Right. Oh, that's
right. Spend it with the people you want to spend time with. That's another one that I have to stress. Happy, you got to look at who you're with, causing the stress, the anxiety, the pain, and then get around people that cause you happiness. I think we accept the love we think we deserve, our child. And so I think we're all searching for that special person. When we disregard that special person that comes in that's so nice to us and treats us with respect and care and love and all that stuff, and we're like, this is weird. I'm supposed to be treated bad, and I should be yelled at and disciplined, and like, what do you think you are? And your ego, like all these little things that we think we should be treated like, because that's just our
create these ideals.
Yeah, it's crazy. So when you get rid of all that stuff and you get around the right people, you get rid of the wrong people, and you just like,
you have moments of this you can be true.
I think that's so true. Just getting around the right people and, clearing out all the stuff that you can. I mean, we can't live in this utopia where everything and everybody around us is just nurturing and exactly what we need. But I think the more you can intentionally create that for yourself, it's absolutely going to put you in a better space.
Amazing. And here's the thing, you might be alone for a while. It's okay to be alone. Like I was taught to sit in the moment. Like if you're having a bad day, just sit in that moment.
Right.
it always passes. But like, if you figure out why you're having that moment or what happened before, what's happening during, those are little things that, like there's a couple of my friends that had some really, really hard times, real bad. I can blow your mind. And they confided in me because we have a relationship, right? So things like that, I've been able to have deeper conversations because of letting go of some of the things and focusing on the peace part, which causes deep relationships. And I know we're getting a little deep here, but I'm telling you, this is a big deal. Like, social is poison, social is fake, news is fake. They tell you what they want us to hear. And when you realize, dude, I haven't watched the news in so long, I know it has an effect on people and people.
Yeah. I was just listening to a podcast the other day, and I said so many people in the world are just in this like, oh, we're at this turning point in time where the robots and the machines are taking over and AI is going to take everyone's job. And I was like listening to this podcast, and it was like, dude, like, and there's been so many other things that have come along that have said this, and like, they're selling the hype, right? Like, if I've got this amazing thing and I'm an AI company and I'm saying this is going to take over the world, this is going to change everybody, this is going to take everybody's job, and I need investor capital, right? Like, I need you to think that I have the next greatest thing that's going to change the world because I need your capital, right? I need you to be an investor. So I need to sell you and excite you. Are these things going to dramatically change the way we live? Yeah, probably. But are we all going to be out of jobs and not doing? Probably not, because they need our money, right? First of all, it's a capitalist society. So if we're all sitting around and we're not working, who's buying their stuff, right? So like, it made me step back, and I was like, you know what? We're all being sold right now. So much fear, right? AI is going to take your job. AI is going to do this, and AI is going to. Well, these are companies that are just selling their stuff and their stories. I mean, Elon's the best storyteller out there, and it's and all of these people. I mean, we could go on as we kind of wrap up, Scott. I want to talk about where can everyone find you? What's the best way to connect?
Google my name is Scott Hudspeth, ScottHudspeth.com, MLOLive.com. AgentAIfuel. Google my name, you'll see all these things that come up. But that's the best place to find me. Yeah, Chris, anything I can do to help you and your fan base or anything at all. I mean, I love getting people like yourself together who just, interview people, because I know you're interviewing people and you're learning from it.
Oh, I love it. For me, it's really the connections with people. I mean, that's what moves me. That's really what I know I'm, really here to do, is like make connections and, meet people, and then sharing these stories and getting to make these connections on the podcast is just an awesome way to be able to connect with people. So, well, real quick, Scott, before I let you go, I want to hit you with our signature question. Like I said, smart money is all about living life on your terms. So when you think about living life on your terms, what does that look like for you? And what is one thing that some of our listeners can do to take action to move a little closer towards living life on their terms?
I'll try to make this short as possible. So I would say that stop trying to live other people's lives. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Stop trying to impress somebody that doesn't even care about you. There's people, but I think we're out there trying to provide an image of ourselves that isn't really who we are. And that's what I've been able to do. And it's hard every day. Here's what I did is I said to myself, I'm going to give with 0x anything in return, except for to leave people in a better place, no matter what I say, no matter what I do. I attract the right people to it, and the wrong people go away. And I post some things, and some people come in, some people go away. Stop worrying about every single person. Focus on the people in the room that raise their hand and go, I want more, or I want more of you. And stop worrying about the one person who said, it's 1 out of 100. And we, for some stupid reason, focus on that one person. And then we stop doing that one thing or the 2 things or the 3 things that make us the most happiest, that give us the most peace.
Yeah.
Because it's just jealous.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. So stop worrying about other people. Worry about yourself. Dig deep. Make yourself happy first. Because if you're not happy, you can't make other people happy. Happiness and peace, and figure out those differences. See if you have that in your life. If not, start striving for it.
I love it. Always a pleasure, Scott. Thanks for joining us here on Smart Money, and really appreciate the time. And I look forward to staying connected, and all of our listeners go out there and connect up with Scotty. And on that note, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Follow Smart Money with Chris Swartz for more conversations on building wealth with purpose. And if you found value in this episode, share it with someone you know who can benefit, because real wealth is life on your terms.